Modern Mi'kmaq are heir to 11,000 years of civilization in Atlantic Canada. A Mi'kmaq Park in Debert, Nova Scotia, is on the site of the oldest settlement on the east coast of North America, settled before the end of the last ice age. Then about 500 years ago, the Europeans came. The Mi'kmaq intermarried with the French Acadians and traded with the Basque, learning both languages. Then came the British and the Yankee militia with extreme violence inflicted indiscriminately on men, women, and children. $100 from the Boston government for a male scalp, $50 for women and children. Not only that, but within 100 years of meeting the invasion, it's estimated about 90% of the Mi'kmaq died from the European diseases. Fast forward through 400 more years of repression to 1969. According to the anthropologist S. Davis, quote, the White Paper of 1969, in which the Trudeau Liberal government tried to repeal the Indian Act of 1851, led to resistance and unprecedented unity among all Native groups across Canada. Calvin calls it the Awakening. My assigned reading for this TRSU 7002 assignment was Varghese and Crawford, A Cultural Framework for Indigenous, Local, and Science Knowledge Systems in Ecology and Natural Resources Management. Varghese and Crawford explore the diversity of knowledge systems and recognize, quote, the problematic issues of Euro-colonial imperialism and associated cultural domination, resulting in prevalent, quote, Eurocentric dominated scholarship, and even suggesting, quote, most natural scientists have little or no conscious recognition that they exist and operate within a cultural knowledge system in the first place. Quote, we strongly recommend that all mainstream academic and government institutions establish explicit professional standards and requirements for their students and practitioners to publicly describe their ongoing efforts to engage in respectful, meaningful, and reciprocal knowledge exchange with Indigenous and local knowledge systems. This final recommendation of the authors can be compared to MUN's research impacting Indigenous groups policy, quote, the first of its kind known in Canadian universities. Quote, the conduct of research that impacts Indigenous communities, cultures, and lands must be grounded in ethical conduct and respectful ongoing engagement with Indigenous groups. In many cases, this requires collaboration and partnership. The policy includes engaging with the community before research is designed or proposed so that communities are partners in the creation of a research project. We have attempted to be cognizant of MUN policy. For the sake of transparency, Calvin is on my PhD committee, and I have worked to support Mi'kmaq participatory communications events for years. My role in this project is to provide transdisciplinary support for a natural science researcher enlisted for a Mi'kmaq community greenhouse project. The transdisciplinary community development / communications support is integrated with the researcher through brokering, consultation, and participation. The researcher would be driven to and introduced to the community. The researcher would prepare materials for dissemination and actively participate in knowledge mobilization events. My self-help community development role, as practiced by MUN Extension fieldworkers in the past, focuses on helping communities do what they have decided to do. When university researchers are involved, the role becomes what Crawford calls a broker. Calvin speaks eloquently of the involvement of a MUN Extension fieldworker in his own personal empowerment. The knowledge mobilization participatory communications tools in this research project would include community radio, internet radio, special events, live web pages, Zoom TV events, video and audio recording.